Hi and welcome to another video on setting up the Casio CTX 3000 keyboard. And in this video I'm going to show you about setting up pedals. The standard pedal that comes with the keyboard looks like this. It's a simple on-off kind of foot switch. It's very basic, it does the job, but is a little bit sort of flimsy. You can buy different types of pedals. This is a piano style foot switch. It does the same kind of function on and off, but more in a sort of piano style. If you do go for one of these kind of pedals, make sure that it's got a switch somewhere on it, perhaps on the side or on the bottom, where you can change the polarity to make sure that it works with the Casio keyboard. And then another type of keyboard pedal that will work with the instrument looks like this. This one's made by Yamaha, but it does work with the Casio as well, and it helps to control the volume of the keyboard or expression. They all connect into the back of the keyboard, into either pedal 1, or if you're using the expression pedal, then that will go into pedal 2. You could have two foot switch types of pedals, or you could have one foot switch and one expression pedal. So anyway, let me set that up for you and show you a few settings on how to find the functions. Okay, so I've connected two foot switch pedals into the back of the keyboard. Into pedal number 1, I've put the piano style foot switch, and then into pedal number 2, I've put the Casio foot switch. So let's have a look at pedal number 1 first of all. And to change the settings for the pedals, you want to press function, use your left and right buttons until you get to controller. Press enter, and then here you've got pedal, pitch bend, portamento and sustain sub-menus. The last two refer to the portamento and sustain buttons that you've got on the front panel of the keyboard. Pitch bend refers to the pitch bend wheel at the side, but we're looking at pedal, so let's put it back to pedal and now press enter. And here we say it's got pedal 1 effect, and I can use the wheel to change the effect. There are 4 types of effect that you can have on a foot switch pedal. Number 1 is sustain, so this means it'll play like a sustain pedal on a piano. I can hold notes with the pedal and lift my fingers off the keys. Number 2 is sostenuto. It's similar. I can hold a chord or notes, push the keys down, push the pedal down, and the notes will hold like that. But then I can play some detached notes elsewhere on the keyboard. So you can hold a chord and then do detached notes somewhere else on the keyboard. Number 3 is soft, and this is a little bit like a volume control. It just brings down the volume slightly and also brings down the sort of brightness in the sound. So if I play normally without the pedal down, it sounds like that. If I now push the pedal down, even though I'm using the same velocity, the sound is a little softer and a little less bright. The 4th option is rhythm and song, and this now just means that the pedal will stop and start either a rhythm or a song. So if I push it down, and if I push it again, it stops the rhythm. So very simple, but it's quite effective. It means my hands are free to play on the keyboard. So those are the 4 options. Let's put it back to sustain. And now if I use the left and right buttons, we'll come to pedal 1 enable. pedal 1 enable. And what you can do is you can turn the effect of that pedal on or off for each of the layers. So for upper layer 1, upper layer 2, lower layer 1 and lower layer 2. So to access your layers, you've got the split point and upper layer buttons down here at the bottom of the panel. So let's just, first of all, set up a layer sound with this piano. So I've got a string voice here, and at the moment they're both being controlled by the sustain pedal. I'm not holding the keys, but I'm holding the sound with the foot switch, with the pedal. Now if I release the pedal, the sound will stop. So both the piano and the strings will sustain together. Release the pedal and they both stop. But if we go back to that menu there under pedal, and we go to pedal 1 enable, if we press enter again, you can now see you've got the ability to turn on and off for each layer. So at the moment, upper 1 is on and upper 2 is on as well. But for instance, we could turn upper 2 off. So now when I use the pedal, it's going to control the piano sound but not the strings. Let's do it the other way around. Let's put on for the strings and turn it off for the piano. So now the string sound is being sustained. And you can do the same for your lower 1 layer and your lower 2 layer as well, on or off enable there. Let's put them both back onto on. If you do a long press on the exit button, it gets you right back to the tone level or rhythm level of the keyboard. Now, if you save that as a registration patch, that information that we set for pedal will also be saved in the registration memory. So I could have a different setting and save that into number 2 or number 3 or somewhere else in another bank or another memory. So very useful, very flexible. So now let's have a look at the expression pedal and how that works. So now I've got pedal number 1, the piano style foot switch still connected into pedal 1, but this time I've got the expression pedal connected into pedal number 2. So to control the settings, again press function, go back through the menu until you get to controller, press enter, and here we are at pedal, so I'm going to press enter. Pedal 1 effect is set to sustain, and we've enabled it. Here we've got pedal number 2 effect, and here it's got number 5. If this was just a foot switch, we'd only have the 4 options of sustain, sostenuto, soft, rhythm and song. But because this is now an expression pedal, we've got a 5th option here for expression. If we use the left and right buttons again, moving on, we've got pedal 2 enable. And if I press enter, you can turn on and off expression pedal number 2 for each layer, for upper 1, for upper 2, for lower 1 and for lower 2. The expression pedal will either work or not work if you've enabled it or disabled it here. So at the moment we've just got a piano's voice, so I'm going to put a layer with a string voice, string tone at the same time. And I'm just going to move the expression pedal up and down, and you can hear the volume changing as I play. So both sounds are being controlled by the expression pedal. If I turn this to on for upper 1, if I turn it to off, now the piano voice won't be affected by the expression pedal, but I can bring the strings in and out. So I'm just moving the pedal up and down just to show you how I can change the volume of the strings. If you do it very quickly, you can get a kind of nice tremolo effect. So that's very useful, a good way of controlling two sounds and the relative volumes between them. Let's just press exit, move back up a layer. After pedal 2 enable, it's got pedal 2 type. You can either have a foot switch into pedal 2, as we mentioned, or the expression. There are two options, expression type 1 and expression type 2. I've found that with the Yamaha expression pedal, it's best on number 1, type 1. So that's setting number 2. And if we press the right button again, the right arrow, we get to expression pedal calibrate. Let's press enter. And it says sure. So now we'll press yes. And it says highest. So this just means push it all the way down so that it knows that that's the highest point that you can reach on the pedal. And then just press enter for that. And then it says lowest. So now bring the expression pedal all the way back and then press enter again. And now it's complete. It's calibrated how much movement you've got in that foot pedal. And we'll just do a long press on exit and we go all the way back. So let's have a listen again to the effect of having that expression pedal, just bringing in the strings, controlling the string volume. And again, I can be using my other pedal for sustain as well. And you can also record the expression pedal in the song bank when you're recording a song, but it has to be on the system track only. It won't have any effect on if you're using one of the solo tracks. So make sure that when you're recording a song, you're recording on a system track if you want to be using this setting. And then the final thing to say also about the pedal is you can also use a pedal to switch registrations. I've demonstrated that on a song that I wrote called Hot Tiger, and I'm using a foot switch to change from one registration to another. But when you're using one of the foot switch pedals to change your registration, it loses its prime function. So for instance, if it's set to sustain, it won't control sustain anymore. But you could, for instance, have a sustain pedal in number 1 and then use the other one, the other foot controller, a foot switch type, to move along the registrations. It will go along the line in order up to 8, and then when it gets to 8, it goes back to the beginning. It doesn't change sound bank, just moves along from 1 to 8. So I hope that made some sense, and you can have an experiment if you want to. It's a very good, quite detailed options you've got here on this keyboard, so worth exploring. Thanks for watching.